Hey everybody! Oh,
No, it's okay. What happened?
Hey everybody! Welcome to the OBT show!
Are we on the air?
We're on the air currently.
Cool. I'm Brendan.
I'm Chris.
And this is our second televideo conference call back and forth.
Yes, and we're doing this live, and hopefully nobody jumps into this while we're doing it. Chances of that happen? Very unlikely.
Does anyone else have this secret address?
I think it's public.
Oh, okay. Then we will likely have somebody jumping in at some point, which would be kind of cool, actually.
That would be it. It'll make things interesting.
But you can regulate and take them off, right?
Yeah, I can mute them. I can go, ha-cha, mute.
Oh, because you're the one that's in charge, right?
Yes.
So, okay, you can mute my ass all day long.
Well, I don't want to mute you.
I don't know if I'm not comfortable yet. I feel like I'm playing too much to the camera.
That's okay.
When I shouldn't be.
Well, you got a microphone in your face, so play to that too. Hey. For the fans.
You're terrible. Hey, man, it's big. We're going to preview a little bit of some things that are going to be announced, probably more in San Diego Comic-Con, which is this week, right?
Yes, it's coming up.
It's coming up. So after this one gets up at some point, probably Thursday?
Maybe.
Okay, I don't have time to edit after. Sorry.
I'll
but
actually
we'll make it
be
work.
more diligent about uploading.
Yes, if you can upload. Because somebody doesn't upload all the time.
Hey,
just once. It was just once,
It was just once. It's new practice. Got to get into routine, you know.
Meanwhile, for the first 50, I just had to walk maybe like 5 minutes, and I was like, no, not today.
All right. Just don't feel
was
like
sleepy. Not today. But hey, man, so you have some video game stuff that you did.
Yes.
You actually got to play a game that I can't yet because I don't have a cool system like you do.
Yes, I got to play the beta for Destiny on PS4.
How was it?
It was awesome! I loved it. It handles, it's crazy. It's not like just a plain first-person shooter. There's a lot going on. One of the things that I really, really liked was that at any point in time, I could hit a button and then just spawn like a speeder from Star Wars. Just pops up below me, and I can just speed around on the map, you know.
But wait, what's the concept? Like, what's the point? What is it about?
It's very Halo-esque.
Okay. Made by the same people anyway, so.
Yeah, when you start, you get revived, and you basically you pick a class beforehand. You got three. There's like Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. Titans are big, heavy hitters. Hunters are quick with knives, a little stabby, and Warlocks can use like magic or something, like plasma stuff. I don't know what it is, but I use it, so it makes me happy. I just throw plasma stuff everywhere.
So,
and the basic premise is once you get revived, Earth is like it's into the future. Everything's gone to shit, and there's a big ball floating in the air. You don't know what the big ball is about, but you go there. This is the last like earthly city. You didn't get like a whole big understanding of it.
I don't understand anything you're saying.
Stuff happens. You kill aliens, and then you go and play multiplayer, and then you kill other humans.
So how much of the campaign mode are you able to play on this, if at all?
I think you get about like 6 or 7 missions in, or levels worth of missions. So you get 4 story missions, one where you just go into the same map that you did a lot of story missions, and you just explore, and there's little tiny missions around to do, like, you get, like, experience for that. And then there's the Crucible, which is where you fight multiplayer.
I just farted, so I hope that picks up on my mic. Sorry.
You know what?
It was loud, I heard it.
We made it 50 episodes without a fart. And now that we're separated, it just makes sense.
I felt more comfortable. But I hope it picked up on my mic. We'll find out. But so how long do you have the Destiny beta for?
It went down for maintenance, and then now it's back up for another week.
Okay.
And now everybody can use it, Xbox and PlayStation.
Now, are you now this has completely sold you on the game, right?
Oh yeah, no, I really wanted to get it.
Yeah.
I put my pre-order in, but once I got to play the beta, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun to play, and I feel like if I max out one player and one stat category or whatever, I'm just gonna jump and make another one and just start over again. It's highly addictive until another awesome game comes out.
Well, that's
you
pretty
really
much how
have
video
so
games
much
go.
time. So much time.
Well, I mean, you hit a point where you've played out one whole game completely, and then you can't go anywhere further but to the next game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's only so far you can go.
It's a terrible. Video games are terrible relationships because when the new thing comes along, you jettison the old one that you loved.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I don't jettison that game because the next game I think big one that'll come out after that is Shadows of Mordor, and that looks awesome. So
what the hell is that about?
Lord of the Rings. It's like its own story. You play as someone that's like half wraith, half human, and you can control orcs. And I don't know. I saw a trailer for it today, and I was just like, oh, they have amazing kill animations. It looks like Assassin's Creed for Lord of the Rings with magic.
Pass. Pass.
But if you wanted to play Destiny, it is going to go out for the PS3. So
yeah. Does this make me look creepier?
You look bright.
I don't know what to do. I need to do better lighting in here. I'm going to leave it like that so you can see me.
Don't worry, you'll learn.
I'll learn. I'm going to bring it in a little bit too. Nope. There we go.
Brendan's pasty white complexion.
I know, I'm so white. I'm done with it. It's going to be distracting for a while, folks. I'm sorry. And I want to play that game. I will upgrade at some point.
Okay. Well, you don't
I'm
need
just
to
not there
upgrade,
yet.
But you should.
I got to pay off stuff, man. I'm a student loan kid.
You can pay off this.
Oh, you don't need to stop that.
We have the power of camera technology now.
It hurts just as much as when you're in person, when you do it online. You ass.
There's the power of technology.
Oh, stop it. I want to talk to you about comic books. Oh.
We don't like comic books, so why would we talk about it now, of all times?
Although I have recently cut back on the amount of subscriptions that I have because I just can't afford keeping up with everything. And this I'm going to circle back to why I want to talk about it with you, but I killed not literally, but I killed 3 titles.
Children.
And now
titles.
I know, no children were killed. I only killed 3 titles, and I kept Batman Eternal, Batman, and Hawkeye. I killed Moon Knight and Amazing Spider-Man because I'm bored now with Amazing Spider-Man again.
Well, you can be excited now because some awesome stuff is coming out.
No, all right, let's get into it. Major news was announced. let me not use my tone and inflect how I feel about it. Let me do radio announce voice. Yeah.
Did you hear?
Shut up! Get out of the camera. Marvel announced that as part of the Marvel Now initiative, 3 of your favorite heroes are undergoing dramatic changes. Thor is now a lady.
What? I already knew that, but I had to.
Captain America is Falcon.
That's awesome.
Well, wait, before. All right, and then Iron Man, Tony Stark has now become very eco-centric. They haven't released too many details. The only thing I read, and maybe you have more info, but what I read was that he's creating things that are going to better humanity, and it's bettering humanity in his own mind, not necessarily reality-based.
I think the one thing that I read was he's taking control of San Francisco, basically, and I thought when it was more like eco-based, but I think it's more human-based, and he's going to change, everyone that lives in the city, and that's kind of creepy.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I think that I'm jaded from all of this, because I've been reading comic books since 1990.
Wow.
And I stopped.
You're dating yourself there a little bit.
I know. I'm old. And I went and I took a break in college because beer, I wanted to spend my money on beer more than I wanted to spend it on comics. So beer overtook the comics right in the upswing.
For shame.
Right in the upswing, 2002, when all these cool things were happening. I was like, I'm out. I'm going to keep all my 90s glossy covers and hologram stickers. That's my bread and butter. But throughout those years and decades now that I've been reading, you always have these moments where something new happens. And sometimes it's impactful. It's like Superman's dead, 1993. That was emotional for me. Bane breaks his back. I will break you.
That was pretty emotional.
That was pretty intense. But then you have bullshit like Superman Blue, where he becomes electricity, and they change his costume, and then he becomes Superman Red, and there's two Supermen. And then you have Superboy with the earrings. Superboy I like, but he had the weird '90s haircut, like a member of New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, where he had the shave up with the
shave up. Yeah, I was like, okay, and he had the earring because it was the '90s, and you had to have an earring.
That's my only way of describing it: the weird, and then just going like this.
I know. And Marvel didn't really do a whole heck of a lot besides switch X-Men teams a lot. They had Archangel back more in the 80s, change it from Angel to Archangel, but they did some stuff like Mr. Sinister. They did the Executioner song with the Legacy virus. They did some stuff like that, but they never did anything really status quo shaking until probably the last 4 to 5 years. Death of Captain America, Civil War, a lot of random stuff. Yeah. Heroes Reborn, and actually that happened in early 2000s when they took all these major teams out of the playing field with Onslaught. So they do some stuff. But going back to what's happening now.
Oh, yeah, Batman died.
And Batman died. Yeah, they killed yeah. And then he was time travel. He was a pilgrim. I have an issue, and the cover is him dressed up like a pilgrim, Bruce Wayne. And it's the least imposing Batman I've ever seen in my life.
Isn't the first one he's in... He's like a caveman, and then he's a pilgrim?
Yes, and then he's a pirate, and then he's a detective in, like, the 40s.
Yeah, that's right. It was like a little noir-esque or whatever or something.
That one was cool, and then all of a sudden there's something Grant Morrison, like, I love Grant Morrison, but I still need to, like, I need a reference book this thick to figure out where everything went with that story. But, like, somehow there's a Batman book, like a Bible, that allowed Bruce to bridge the gaps from the Omega Beam back to current reality, and then yeah, exactly. And then I passed out, and I was like, is he Batman yet? So I take all of this with a grain of salt, knowing very well that in 2015 we're going to get Avengers Dose, which we can talk a little bit if we have time about that.
Age of Ultron.
So I honestly, my assessment of all this, besides Falcon, this is how I rate it. This is how I rate it in terms of how excited I am. Falcon as Cap, I think, is cool. And then it goes Lady Thor, and then it goes hipster Iron Man.
All right, I'm okay with that. I'm on the same page as you with the hipster Iron Man being the lower tier of the changes.
But ultimately, I don't care, and I guess I was
don't
invested.
Think you ultimately don't care.
Well, I kind of don't, because I just feel like they're going to be like, guess what? Steve Rogers is not an old man anymore. He's back.
I mean, you know, hopefully they give it some time, but I feel like this is probably one of the best moves as far as for Captain America that they've made in, you know, the past 25 years.
Well, I would argue when Bucky was captain, that was cool.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm not saying it is the best, but it's one of the best things that's happened to like the Cap storyline.
Right.
I mean, it's good for sales. It's more inclusive. It's not like, you know, Captain America. We've had 2 white ones. Screw everybody else. Like, you know, it's like.
Yeah. But I kind of here's the other thing that I kind of feel weird about is I feel like I wish that we, and I say collective, we, societal, we didn't have to be like, here is an African American who's now Captain America, because that's what we should do. Why can't Falcon stand on his own? Like, why do they have? You know what I mean? I know that the image. That's
a bonus point of it. It was where he fits the role to be Captain America because him and, you know, Cap have been friends for so long. They fought together. It just makes sense that if Steve Rogers is stepping down and Bucky's still, you know, I'm hip and cool, Winter Soldier, that's the next person. That's who I would turn to. I'd go, eeny, meeny, miny, oh, cool, Falcon, come here, we want you to be Captain America.
I guess what I'm saying is I would rather just have him be Falcon and Captain America dies. You know what I mean? That'd be more impactful than And that would mean more than being like, guess who we just inserted as Captain America? Here he is, and then take that away from him at some point, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like...
You know what I mean? Same thing with Thor. Why can't she just be a character on her own? Why does she have to assume the code name Thor? Let Thor be Thor. But, you know what I mean? That part doesn't even make sense from a storyline point, because that's his name.
I mean, you had Nightwing stepping in to be Batman. You had Azrael step in to be Batman, and they've all each had their own unique... you know, right. influences on the overall role. So I feel like this, I mean, because Falcon isn't top tier, and this pushes him top tier immediately.
Right.
And if he steps down, you know, Steve Rogers comes back, Falcon is still top tier at that point, because hopefully that creates the upswing where, I mean, we might even see this happen in the movies, because Chris Evans only has a contract for, 2 more movies? And if they don't re-sign him, who is going to replace him? And I don't know if they're really sure on the Bucky replacing him, because he's in 2 movies, but I don't know if they developed it enough as to where the overall reaction for Falcon being in the last movie was just, everyone was like
through the roof.
Oh, it was amazing! It was done so well, and he acted it out incredibly. Was it?
What?
No, but I mean, I'm excited for what ripples that causes in the rest of the nerd universe.
I'm excited too. I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm not excited. I'm excited for it. I just feel like I'm always disappointed when someone gets... And I was disappointed when it was Winter Soldier that he was Captain America, and then it's like, no, you're no longer Cap because Steve just came back. And there was no real momentous moment. Like, Captain America came back, and then he was a super soldier, just hanging out in the background, just kind of waiting. And then Bucky died, supposedly. And then he was like, I'll be Captain America again. So it's just kind of like, I wish that they just would establish and make the stories good for Falcon. Like, why can't you do a good Falcon story?
That's true.
And not have to plug him into Captain America to then make it good? Like, why does that mean, okay, now we can do cool things with him? He's always been there. I always thought he was a cool character. But
I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying. I feel like this is probably Marvel's best route. And we're looking. Yep. I mean, me personally, I might not be in the majority of popular opinion with this, but I believe that we're coming to an age where we're going to see comic book characters not come back, and characters get written out, or they won't be in the proper universe. It'll be more side stuff. Well, because I know that they're still approaching the idea of killing off Wolverine. I believe that
they did kill him.
Oh, it's official? It's done?
He's dead, yeah.
Okay, good, he's dead.
Well, and they don't have any plans. Alonzo, I forget his name. I think it's Alonzo, one of the Marvel editors-in-chiefs, pretty much said that they have no exit strategy. There is no backdoor where Wolverine can come back easily. They haven't written it. They haven't discussed it. Wolverine is dead.
That's good, though, because that means you can write stuff other than the main proper. You can do backstory, make some cool stuff, and then 5 years away or 4 years away, do something and bring them back. Not a year later, oh, Wolverine's still alive.
Well,
you just didn't know because only one of his cells survived, but then it grew in the ocean. Does that sound familiar?
I know.
That was your idea.
My idea for what was that?
Yeah, because he gets blown up, and then part of him is in the ocean, and then he heals himself
underwater, and then he can breathe underwater, and then he becomes codename Aquamarine.
Oh man.
So all right. So yes, I think it's cool. I don't like the hype about. Look, who we just replaced, if they're not going to keep to their word and make dead is dead.
That's true. So
that's what makes me disappointed.
Well, hopefully we'll see within the next couple months. I mean, they usually make moves pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the longest death is still Bucky from 40s. But on average, it's about a year to a year and a half that they've kept people off the shelf, so to speak, and then they find a way to bring them back.
How long was Tim Drake dead?
Oh, you mean Jason Todd?
Jason Todd, sorry.
That's Tim Drake's still alive. I was like, wait a minute, do you know something I don't know?
Jason Todd.
Robin.
Sorry, the one that got beaten the snot out of by
the Joker.
The Joker.
80s till about, they brought him back in early 2003, 2004.
That was a pretty significant.
That was a long time, but they kind of, yeah. But then they were like, he was always alive. You know what I mean?
They're
That's
all
the part that
always
kills
alive.
me.
That's what Winter Soldier was alive
dumb.
the whole time too.
Which is just dumb. Like, no, he's alive now because a writer decided that he's alive. Don't be like, and by the way, he never died. No, he died. Be smarter about it. You know what I mean? Make him a clone. Make him a Ra's al Ghul clone. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something kind of funny.
They should. You know what they should do? They should have a panel of all of our superheroes that we know and love, and we have to pick 3 of them to get rid of, and you have to do it like old Roman emperor style, just thumbs up or thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
And just kill off a few of them, and then bring them back in a couple of years when people have fresher minds.
I think at the end of the original Sin storyline going through Marvel is they're making a big push that Steve Rogers is now an old man because the Infinity Formula is gone from his body.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Fury is now an old man because he had to transfer his blood to his Nick Fury Jr. son, who is black.
That makes sense.
Which is kind of cool. So now you have the Samuel L. Jackson of the proper Marvel universe now. So they made that jump, which I was cool with. African American Nick Fury, I'm cool with.
I mean, Samuel L. Jackson just pretty much comics, so. took over the role. So
I know. So that's who people associate. So now they have a storyline where Nick Fury has always been on the cusp of an intergalactic war, and he's been for the last 80 years holding back aliens without S.H.I.E.L.D. knowledge or Avengers knowledge. But the Watcher died. Yeah, pretty much. The Watcher died, somebody took his eyeballs out, and somehow through his eyeballs you get all the secrets of the world, and Nick Fury is fighting for that and knows what's coming. So supposedly they're building some sacrifice that Nick Fury is going to make, so you kill off Caucasian Nick Fury, elevate African-American Nick Fury as the only one left, and then you sideline Caucasian Captain America, bring in African-American Falcon to be Captain America.
Okay.
But he's going to be a war advisor. That's why I'm like, I don't buy this, and I'm nervous because keeping Steve as war advisor in every issue of Falcon's Captain America run is just making me believe he's coming back sooner rather than later.
You never know. They made a pretty badass Cap outfit for Falcon.
It does look awesome.
So hopefully, I mean, if you make a stupid outfit, that's a good time to like, all right, let's just get to where we're going quickly. But
Azrael, Nightfall.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's get him out of there.
Yeah, let's just pump this character full of 90s steroids. Give him gauntlets that shoot fire and knives.
These fists aren't good enough. Claws.
Not. I know. Not to make it sound sad. You know what? It's gonna make your heart hurt even more. You know what recently reminded me of that terrible Batman costume?
What?
Shredder in the TMNT trailer.
Oh,
that is
God.
the Azrael costume.
Yeah, there you go. Which, by the way, can we have a moment to talk about how every single day I can't escape from that goddamn movie?
And now they released the rap song.
Oh.
It's such a terrible song.
You got every single subway station has plastered Ninja Turtles stickers everywhere, posters everywhere. On the subway car that I took to get over from one station to another, the entire inside was vinyl stickered to make it look like Ninja Turtles with Pizza Hut on the seats. It's not right.
You know where none of that is? Upstate New York.
I'm coming back, New York. Hey!
So I think ultimately, I think Lady Thor is, which I need to read the books, but that part of me doesn't want to because I think it's kind of silly. Eco-friendly Iron Man or whatever the hell he's going to be. I'm like, the only one I look at and go, that's a cool way to do it, Captain America.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with Thor being a lady. I have a problem with Thor being a person whose name is Thor, who's not a title or a rank, but Thor is Thor, now not being Thor, and the lady is now Thor?
And
yeah.
Male Thor has a battle axe again, like that he had in the comics for a while, and now, I don't know.
So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it's executed well, maybe it's okay.
I might pick up Avengers Now #1 just to see what it looks like at the team and then get a taste of it there. And then I don't think I have enough patience or money to invest in the 3 new characters.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't blame you.
But I will pick up. I will
That is
likely
what
pick up Avengers
Wikipedia
Now.
is for.
I know, but even that gets confusing.
That's true, yeah.
Because with all the side stories,
Because it goes like
there's
this,
too much
and you're
information.
just like, oh my god, I can't remember everything.
And it's also tough, and it's not any fault of any writer in particular. It's just that every writer has their own style. So Captain America in Secret Avengers is always written a little bit off when you compare him to Avengers Captain America,
Very much so.
or even Captain America in Captain America.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's weird. So that was that. I want to bring up a few other things.
Oh.
I took notes.
Oh.
I took notes, and I have some things to discuss.
No, we talked about what I want to talk about, so we're good.
Okay.
Well, you brought up the shell shocked, and that really, like, I was like, all right, before we leave, we need to talk about that. But you brought up Ninja Turtles, and I was like, oh, kill it now, burn it with fire.
I know. Well, I think real quick before we sign off, one was that much like we talked about New Avengers, Kevin Feige, the guru for Marvel films, has said that don't be shocked if in the future Avenger films have different lineups, much like Avenger comic books did, which I think is cool.
That's awesome, because it needs to happen.
It does need to happen.
They have what? They're going till 2019, at least as far as films that are planned. So there's going to be different lineups. Everybody needs to suck it up, and it's going to still be good.
It'll be good.
They've been doing so good so far, so why don't we believe,
The last thing I want to know, I want to tell you, is that according to an excerpt from Amy Pascal's biography of Joss Whedon, that he threw out the original Avengers script.
Yes.
That was written by Zach Penn. And the quote that they have in this book was, he told Kevin Feige, he got it, he read it, came back and told him, you don't have anything. You need to pretend this draft never existed.
Yep, I read that today. That's so bad.
And Zach Penn was quoted saying, we could have collaborated more, but that was not his choice. He wanted to do it his way, and I respect that. Because Whedon told you no, and Whedon rules above all else.
Yeah, he told him, you have a steaming turd, and I don't want this.
And again, Zach Penn wrote X-Men 3 and Incredible Hulk. So, yeah.
Not a good
I checked
portfolio.
IMDb. Oh, go ahead.
I said, no, not a good portfolio.
Well, and I checked IMDb, and I was like, well, maybe he's bouncing back. You know what his next 2 films are that he's credited with writing?
What?
Karate Kid 2 and Pacific Rim 2.
Oh, I'm going to see Pacific Rim 2, so that's fine.
But you know what makes me sad? My favorite movie, PCU, he co-wrote that. So I can't be that mad at him. I love PCU. Now I'm torn.
Yeah, give it time. Give it time.
Give it time. Chris, what did you learn today?
Oh, wait, before we go, one more thing.
Okay.
He also commented that don't be surprised to see a new property and a sequel every year for Marvel. So we'll see, awesome. Like this year we had Cap 2 and we'll see Guardians of the Galaxy. Next year, Age of Ultron for Avengers, and then new property Ant-Man. They don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but that's what he wants, and I think that's genius.
I think that's awesome.
Genius. Put those little tiny clips at the end of each movie, connecting everything, making you feel like you're part of some big, universe that pretty much has never been done in movies before. I'm okay with that. I will keep shelling out my cash to be involved in that whole thing.
I like that. Chris, what did you learn, man?
Oh, where do I even start? Is
that what you really learned all this time?
No, I learned that we both have interesting and unique perspectives on multiple topics, such as inclusion of race and gender in Marvel roles.
I don't know who you are right now.
What did you learn today, Brendan?
I learned that every day is a personal ride to hell when you're trapped with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god.
T-U-R-T-L-E power.
T-U-R-T-L-E power. T-U-R-T-L-E
Vanilla
power.
Ice! Turtle power, baby. I'm Brendan.
I'm Chris.
See Chris every day in a personal hell on the subway. Bye.